So you think you've got lead generation all figured out, huh? Well, hold on a sec. Are you really making the most of those leads? That's what we're diving into today. Lead segmentation.
It's about taking your marketing from a generic loudspeaker to a personalized conversation that actually gets results.
We're talking about turning that "Hey you" into a call to specific people with specific interests and this specific problem.
Exactly. Think of it this way. You wouldn't use one generic fishing lure to catch every single kind of fish.
Touché.
Segmentation is about knowing what those different fish in your customer pool are biting on and tailoring your approach for the biggest impact.
Speaking of impact, get this. One of our sources actually claimed that using segmented campaigns can increase conversion rates by up to 355%.
Whoa, that's not a fish. That's a whole whale of a difference.
Right. So, where do we even start? What is lead segmentation like at its core?
Okay, picture a giant toy box totally jumbled up.
That's your lead list without segmentation. Lead segmentation brings order to the chaos. Love it. It's about grouping your leads together based on shared characteristics like demographics, maybe their behaviors, you name it. So you can actually speak directly to their needs and interests. It's about ditching the megaphone for a scalpel, making your marketing laser-focused.
Right on.
And our sources all agree. More qualified leads equals less wasted budget, which ultimately means a much healthier bottom line for you.
Absolutely. It's about working smarter, not harder, right? 100%.
So let's imagine you're a sustainable clothing brand. Would you blast everyone with ads for winter coats?
No way. That's just throwing money away.
Exactly. Segmentation allows you to target those folks in colder climates with winter gear, while at the same time promoting lighter apparel to your audience in sunnier places.
It just makes sense. It's not just about what you're selling, but who you're selling it to and ensuring your message resonates.
Okay, I'm sold, but how do we actually segment these leads? What are the options?
Think of it like a toolbox, and these are your tools. First up, we've got demographics: age, gender, income. It's basic, but still valuable.
Got it. What else?
Then there's geographic segmentation, where they are in the world, even down to the climate they live in, like we were just talking about.
Makes sense. What else?
Then we go a bit deeper with psychographics. Values, lifestyle interests are the eco-conscious, tech-savvy, total fitness junkies.
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Right. This helps you really tailor your messaging to their whole worldview.
Super powerful.
And then we have behavioral segmentation, their past purchases, website activity.
Oh, this is where it gets juicy.
This is pure gold. It tells you what they're actually doing, not just what they say they're interested in.
So if I'm constantly clicking on those vegan recipe ads, you can safely assume I'm not a diehard carnivore.
Exactly. And finally, there's transactional segmentation, purchase frequency, average order value. This is huge for loyalty programs and keeping your most valuable customers happy.
So we're talking about rewarding those VIPs.
You got it.
Makes sense. Now, our sources all seem to agree that combining these methods is where the real magic happens.
100%. Think of it as building a 360-degree view of your customer.
I like it.
The more data points you can connect, the sharper your insights, and the more personalized your marketing can become.
Okay, I'm already feeling like a marketing detective. Let's be real for a sec. Not all leads are created equal.
Sadly, no.
Some are just window shopping. Others are ready to pull out their credit cards. How do we separate those eager beavers from the casual browsers?
That's where lead scoring comes in.
Lead scoring?
Yeah, think of it like a ranking system for your leads.
Like a credit score, but for how likely they are to become a customer.
Exactly. You assign points based on their actions and engagement with your content.
Okay, so what kinds of things are we talking about here?
Downloading an ebook, requesting a demo, maybe they keep going back to that pricing page. These all point to a higher level of interest and might mean they're closer to actually buying.
Got it. So someone who only signed up for your newsletter and hasn't opened an email since, probably not your hottest lead. You're catching on. So how do we figure out what actions should earn those points?
Well, it all comes back to what your specific business goals are and the actions that usually lead to someone converting into a customer.
Makes sense.
But first, Let's break down the different types of leads you'll come across: NQLs, SQLs, and PQL.
Okay, you've got my attention. Break down these MQLs, SQLs, and PQLs. What's the difference?
So think of it like stages in their customer journey, right? An NQL, or marketing qualified lead, is like that friend who's always asking about your workout routine.
Okay, I have friends like that.
They're showing interest, but they haven't actually committed to joining the gym yet.
Okay, so they're on the fence, but not quite ready to jump in. What about SQLs?
An SQL, or sales qualified lead, is the one who walks right up to the gym's front desk, membership form in hand.
Ready to sign on the dotted line.
Exactly. They're ready to buy. Time for your sales team to swoop in and seal the deal. Got it.
And PQLs. Overachievers of the group.
You could say that. A PQL, or product qualified lead, has already gotten a taste of what you're offering.
Okay, so like, they've taken the product for a test drive.
Exactly. Often through a free trial or a freemium model. Their actions within the product itself tell you they're more likely to convert to paying customers.
So they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. And our sources actually had some really interesting real-world examples of this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Dropbox, for instance, considers a user a PQL if they upload a file within an hour of creating a free account.
Interesting. So they're not just letting it sit there. They're diving right in.
Yeah, that action shows a certain level of commitment and engagement that tends to lead to those paid subscriptions down the line.
Makes sense. Yeah. Any other examples?
Yeah, HubSpot. You know them, the marketing automation gurus.
Of course.
They look for users who've checked out at least 5 different features on the platform during their free trial.
So they're not just kicking the tires. They're really taking it for a spin.
Right. They're putting it through its paces. And that tells you that this is someone who's serious about what they offer.
Clever. They're letting the product do the talking and using those actions as a powerful qualification tool. That's HubSpot. But I'm guessing that even with the best lead scoring system in place, some leads still slip through the cracks, right?
It happens. Yeah, unfortunately. In fact, one source said that a whopping 67% of lost sales are due to poor lead qualification.
Wow, that's a lot of missed opportunities.
It is, and it shows just how important a solid lead scoring system is, especially when combined with clear segmentation.
Makes sense.
It's all about making sure your sales team is spending their valuable time on the leads that are most likely to convert, while you nurture the ones who aren't quite there yet.
Working smarter, not harder. Got it. So let's get practical. Our listeners are probably itching to put these segmentation strategies into action. Where's a good place to start?
First things first, you need to know your ideal customer, like really understand them.
Okay, so more than just their age and what cities they live in.
Way more. One source called it becoming a customer anthropologist, which I love.
I like that.
You've got to go beyond those basic demographics and dig into their psychographics, motivations, pain points, and even the actual language they use when they talk about their problems.
So it's like creating a whole character sketch, not just filling out a basic profile.
Exactly. The more real and relatable your customer persona is, the easier it'll be to see things from their point of view, and then you can tailor your marketing accordingly.
Got it. And speaking of tailoring, once we know who we're talking to, it's all about making sure our content really hits home, right?
100%. One source put it perfectly. Content is king, but context is queen. Even if you've got this amazingly written blog post about, say, the benefits of organic gardening, it's not going to do you any good if the person reading it has never even touched a houseplant. You've got to make sure your content matches where they are in their journey and the specific type of person you're targeting.
It's about meeting them where they are. So what are some ways we can actually apply this?
Let's take email marketing, for example. Instead of just sending out the same generic promotional email to your whole list, what if you segmented based on what they've bought before, what they've clicked on your site, or even how they answered a survey you sent out?
Okay, so if I bought running shoes from your site last month, you might send me emails about upcoming races or new athletic wear you have in stock.
Bingo. It's about making every interaction count and providing real value, not just adding to their inbox clutter.
Makes sense.
One source, An e-commerce business owner said that their email open rates increased by 70% after they started segmenting.
Okay, I'm listening. What other tactics can we use to personalize things for people?
Don't underestimate the power of free. Lead magnets are a must-have for getting those valuable email addresses.
Lead magnets? You mean like ebooks, checklists, templates, those goodies that people can get for free in exchange for their contact info?
That's the one. But, and this is important, a generic lead magnet is like having a boring dating profile.
Ouch. Okay, I get it. So, how do we make those lead magnets irresistible?
One source said that lead magnets are mini solutions to your audience's biggest problems.
Okay, like that.
So, if you're a productivity coach, don't just offer a general ebook about time management. Give them something super specific. Maybe a checklist made just for entrepreneurs or a time tracking template designed for freelancers.
Now we're talking. It's about giving them something they can actually use right away.
Don't be afraid to experiment with different formats either. One source has said they had huge success with a quiz that helped people determine their learning style. It was a fun way to give people something of value and then segment them based on their answers.
So smart. It's like gamifying the whole lead generation thing. I love it. Okay, we've got lead magnets, we're segmenting our emails, and our content is on point. What about taking it to the next level?
Now you're talking. That's where technology comes in. Think personalized website experiences, maybe content that changes based on the user's data, and even chatbots that answer questions and guide people to the right resources.
So, instead of everyone seeing the same homepage on a website, returning visitors could get product recommendations based on what they've looked at before.
And it goes way beyond just products. A software company, for example, could use this to showcase studies and testimonials that are most relevant to the visitor's industry or size.
Now that's what I call making people feel seen. This is next level personalization.
It is. And the best part, it doesn't have to be super complicated. Start small. Maybe try conditional logic in your forms to personalize the questions you're asking. And then, as you get more comfy, you can explore more of those advanced automation tools.
So we're talking about slowly leveling up our segmentation skills. But with great power comes great responsibility, Amiri. We have to use all this data the right way.
100%. Transparency is key. Don't hide what you're doing. Let people know what data you're collecting and how you're using it.
Right, because at the end of the day, we're talking about real people, not just data points.
Could not agree more. Speaking of data, you can't do any of this without the right tools. CRM and marketing automation platforms are essential if you want to manage your segments, automate campaigns, and track your results.
Okay, quick reminder, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It's basically a hub for all your customer data.
You got it. And the great thing is there are a ton of options out there. Something for every budget, from simple to super sophisticated.
So how do we even choose the right one? It seems overwhelming.
It definitely can be. One of our sources recommended focusing on your biggest pain points first. Are you drowning in spreadsheets? Can't keep track of all those email conversations?
Okay, then what?
Figure out what those bottlenecks are and then look for a CRM that can help you streamline those processes.
So it's about finding the right tool for the job.
Exactly.
But with so many options out there, it's easy to get lost in the weeds.
It can be. My advice: don't be afraid to take advantage of those free trials they offer. Test the waters before you fully commit. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is to choose a CRM that you're actually going to use.
Makes sense.
Because the best platform in the world won't help you if it's too complicated or if it just sits there gathering dust.
Solid advice.
Right.
Now I have to ask, with all this talk about automation and fancy CRMs, is there still room for that human touch in marketing? Or are we headed toward a robot takeover?
That's a great question. And honestly, I think the answer is both. Technology can take things to a whole new level. It can make us more efficient and help us personalize at scale. But at the end of the day, people buy from people, plain and simple.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot between automation and authenticity.
100%. Let technology handle the heavy lifting and those repetitive tasks so you can focus your energy on building genuine relationships with your customers.
Love that. Okay, I feel like we've covered a ton of ground here. But before we move on, any common mistakes people make with lead segmentation that we should watch out for?
Oh yeah, tons. One of the biggest ones is trying to be everything to everyone.
Okay, so not spreading ourselves too thin.
Exactly. Don't go crazy creating a million tiny little segments. It's a recipe for overwhelm. Start with a few key segments based on your most valuable customers and what your main goals are.
Quality over quantity. What other pitfalls should we watch out for?
Another big one. Thinking your segments are set in stone. Newsflash. People change. What they need changes. And your business will change too.
So stay flexible.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to switch things up. Regularly go back and look at your segments. See what the data is telling you. And make adjustments.
Avoid over-segmenting and stay flexible. Anything else?
Don't get so caught up in the tech side of things that you lose sight of the human element.
What do you mean by that?
It's easy to get lost in all that data and forget that you're talking to real people with real emotions and desires. Always remember that human connection.
So empathy is still a super valuable marketing tool, even in the age of AI.
Now, more than ever, I'd say. So, speaking of AI
segmentation. It's like we're stepping into the future of marketing, right?
Yeah, totally. And they work hand in hand too. One of our sources was really highlighting AI-powered personalization. And let me tell you, it's mind-blowing. Imagine being able to personalize not just an email, but someone's entire experience on your website, just for them.
Hold on. Are we talking about choosing your own adventure website, but for every single customer?
That's precisely it. AI can take all that data, what they click on, what they've bought before, even what they're doing on social media, and predict what they're most interested in. So you're reading their mind and showing them exactly what they want to see.
Okay, that's the next level. Are there any real companies doing this?
Of course. One article talked about a company that uses AI to analyze what customers are saying about them online.
Oh, interesting.
And I don't just mean looking for keywords. They're actually analyzing the tone, the emotion behind the words.
So they can tell if someone is truly happy with their purchase or just being polite.
Exactly. And then they use that information to personalize how they talk to them afterwards. So someone who's over the moon about their purchase might get an invite to their VIP program, while someone who seems less impressed might get a special offer or discount code to keep them coming back.
It's like they're anticipating what people need before they even ask. That's incredible.
It really is. It shows you how AI can not only help you segment your audience, but connect with them on a personal level, which is huge.
This has been eye-opening, but I have to imagine that with all this information, some of our listeners might be feeling a little overwhelmed.
It's a lot to take in, for sure.
If they could do just one thing this week, based on what we've talked about today, what would it be?
Hands down, get clear on your ideal customer. Don't just stop at the basics either. Go deep. Figure out their motivations, their pain points, what makes them tick.
Because if you don't know who you're talking to, how can you talk to them effectively?
Exactly. It's like that saying, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. You've got to define your destination first. Then you can figure out the best way to get there.
Love it. So, to sum it all up, define your ideal customer, segment strategically, use the right tools, and never forget that human touch.
And don't be afraid to experiment. The beauty of all this is you can keep learning and tweaking as you go.
So true. This has been fantastic. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us. It's given us so much to think about.
My pleasure. I am always happy to talk about all things marketing.
Until next time.